I thought he was an Arsenal fan,
You've just lost his ambassadorial gig.
We all know I'm City.
Congratulations. Just a case of a job well done tonight.
Yes, I think the team was immense today. And the manner that we started the game, showing so much dominations, big chances. I think the keeper kept them alive in the first half because it should have been 2 or 3 at least. And yeah, then there are certain moments, obviously, that are a really good side that they can dominate you and make you play deep. But I think overall we had a big performance as a team and individually as well, players that elevated the level to the highest standards probably of the season.
Have you seen a better goal than what Bereze put away tonight?
It's not easy to see it. I mean, when you talk about technique and when you talk about making contact with the ball in the manner, it's just the ball sounded puff, and just see the reaction of all the players around. And yeah, that's why he's here.
As you said, it felt like their keeper up until that point was pretty unbelievable with what he was stopping. So it was going to take a moment like that.
Yes, and this is Champions League, and yeah, you get worried because when you have 4 or 5 chances in the manner that we had, and you don't put the ball in the back of the net, everything is possible. And in the second half as well, because we had so many open situations, 4v2 to finish the game. But again, another incredible moment from Declan to win the game.
Yeah, the curl on his ball. I don't know if you've seen it back.
That's about the striking the ball and the quality, and we need to do that more often because we have a lot of players that can do that.
Well, look, it's a quarter-final against Sporting Lisbon. You did well there when you went in the league phase last season, but I guess it's a different game this time.
It's completely different. I watched the first half and the play, and yeah, they are top side. It's going to be very difficult, so enjoy tonight and prepare because we have a beautiful final to play on Sunday.
It certainly was. And tonight, did it go well in terms of being able to rotate players and bring in, bearing in mind what's to come on Sunday? Was that the plan?
No, it was related to the game and certain players that needed to come off, basically, because of the amount of minutes that they are playing. So, yeah, now we can focus on the final.
Lovely. Best of luck for it. Well done tonight.
OK, we're going to jump out of those highlights. We'll come back to them in just a second. But you remember Arsenal won 3-1 tonight on aggregate. We want to take you out to the Emirates because friend of the show, scorer of tonight's second for Arsenal, Declan Rice, is with us, everybody.
Rice, baby!
Hey.
Rice, baby!
Congrats for tonight. What did you like about tonight's performance?
Everything, really. I think it had a bit of everything. First half, we played really well. Could have scored 2 or 3, and second half was a bit of a different game. They played really well, but we could have had 2 or 3 in the second half as well. So, look, it was a really tough game over 2 legs. They played really well, Bayern Leverkusen, but in the end, we had the momentum and the confidence, and we knew we could win this game. So, yeah, we're really happy.
Dec, this is Thierry. Well done.
Thank you.
Look, you didn't score for. I know you're not going to want to talk about it, but I want you to talk about it because you didn't score for a little while. The last goals were against Bournemouth were important. How did you feel when that ball went in the back of the net?
Yeah, so happy. I think over the last 2 years, my numbers have been really well for Arsenal, really good. And like you said, I've not scored since Bournemouth, so it's been frustrating. But on a bigger picture, been happy to help out the team in different situations. And if I'm not scoring but we're winning, I've been happy with the way the season's been going. But to see that go in tonight, I was really happy, and I love a Champions League night at the Emirates. So, yeah, it was really good.
Dec, me again. I don't want to jinx anything. Obviously, I'm not going to talk even about the title, but the way you're playing at the moment it's kind of a player of the year type of performance. But I wanted to talk about someone else. How good is David Raya? Because in every single game, he makes 2 to 3 saves that I only saw on PlayStation.
Yeah, he deserves every bit of credit that he's getting. I wish people could come in and see every day how he trains, because the intensity that he trains at and the level that he trains at, there's literally no reason why he's not doing what he's doing on the pitch. It's incredible. To see him every day, the effort and how he is with the lads, he's turned into a real leader for us. And when you've got a keeper like that, I think it gives everyone confidence. So, yeah, he's incredible.
Hey, Declan, what's up, man? This is Clint. How does it feel as you look forward towards these next 4 or 5 months with the opportunity to win the league, to Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and then you got the World Cup in the summer, chance to bring it home. How do you manage all that and continue to stay focused and perform at such a high level?
Yeah, I think it's so hard to look to the future. You know, I think you have to take every game that it comes. I know it sounds cliche. I'm not trying to sound boring, but like we played on Saturday. We then had recovery Sunday. Yesterday we trained and we play again today. We play again on Sunday. Then international break. So I can't look too far ahead on what's happening. We can only focus on the next game because they're coming thick and fast here at Arsenal, and we know what's up for grabs. But the main thing is we have the confidence, we have the belief, and also, you know, we have the momentum as well. And the lads are, when you go in every day, you know, you can just sense it. There's a confidence, there's a vibe, and yeah, this season's been amazing so far. So need to end it strong.
What's up, Dec? It's Carrie.
I was watching you and Thierry last night on Monday Night Football. I thought I'd got rid of you.
Declan, listen, it's looking like it's going to be a special season, as Thierry just mentioned there, talking about, you know, not getting too ahead of yourself. But, of course, the first chance of silverware is at the weekend. It's up against, you know, the biggest rivals you've had over the last sort of 2 or 3 years in terms of stopping you picking up other pieces of silverware, namely the Premier League. How big a game do you see this? Yes, it's a cup final, but this could be the start of something really special.
Yeah, definitely. It could be the start of something. You know, it's the first trophy that's up for grabs. You know, if you win that, the momentum after that, you know, that takes you forward is massive. But, you know, Sunday's going to be a great game against them, and it comes down to how much do you want it. You know, Arsenal back in the final for can't even remember the last time, maybe the Carabao Cup final in 2019, I think, or 2018. So yeah, how much do you want it on Sunday? How much do you want to win a trophy with this team and for these fans? And yeah, look, the lads are already talking about it in there. We're excited, we're ready, and like I said, at the minute, any game of football we go into, we believe we can win. So we'll be ready, and yeah, be looking forward to it.
Dec, it's me again. I wanted you to explain to people how hard it is mentally to go and play in every single competition and perform. And, you know, can you explain? Because I've been there and we couldn't win that treble, and we won the league, obviously, but we at one point collapsed in some competitions. Yeah, obviously, your squad is also way bigger. I have to put that in there, just saying. But it was tough mentally. I was drained sometimes. Can you explain, please, to people how hard it is?
Yeah, it's so hard. And I'm not just saying that. It's mentally really, really tough. Just as hard as it is physically, mentally is really tough. You have to be really strong, really resilient. You know, there's ups, there's downs. You know, we're all humans as well. You know, some days you go in and you think, like, we've got another one like in 2 days' time. Like, how are we going to get up for it again? But you just find that energy from somewhere, and it's obviously amazing for us in the club that we're in 4 competitions, and we have an amazing squad that everyone is involved and ready, and, you know, playing their part in major competitions for us, which is really good. But I think now, you know, we're over that mental side of it in terms of, you know, we're in March now. Obviously, the season ends in May, so, you know, 2 months left to give it absolutely everything we've got to leave a legacy at this club. Hopefully, you know, like I said, we're in every competition. Just keep taking it one game at a time, and hopefully we can keep doing special things, because it'll be worth it in the end.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
But before you go, our friend Micah isn't in the studio today, as you can see. He's over at the Etihad, where Manchester City were playing Real Madrid, and he has a kind message, I'm sure, he would like to send to you before the weekend. Micah, go ahead.
Dec, you know full well I love you as a player, but we'll see you on Sunday, eh? We'll see you. Just make sure you're ready on Sunday, because City are coming through. City, City, City.
I thought he was an Arsenal fan, Micah.
You just lost his ambassadorial gig.
We all know I'm City.
Hi, everyone. Good to have you with us. Let's start by talking about Arsenal against Leverkusen. Arsenal at home for the second leg of this tie, and they end up getting the 3-1 win on aggregate. Do you want to talk us through the highlights, TT?
Yes, like I said to you earlier on, very Arsenal-like the way the game went. we're waiting for the highlights, obviously, before I talk. But people are.
I guess, do Arsenal look at this and think we have a relatively? They're certainly on the right side of the bracket, aren't they, in terms of what could come next, which would be the winner of Bodo Sporting, which was Sporting tonight, but rather that than some of the other quarterfinals that we're potentially looking at with Bayern against Manchester City, Real Madrid. Sorry.
With all due respect, you always look at the side of the bracket and you go like, that looks a tiny bit better. You still have to win those games, and being in all the competitions, Jamie will tell you that it's not always easy to manage that. You have the Carabao Cup, then you have you're battling against City. Yes, I know there is a tiny bit of better point difference between the two teams at the moment, but being able to play in every single competition, it's tiring mentally at times. I'll be honest with it, but no disrespect to I'm looking at those. That's why I'm turning, because it came on the side.
The bracket.
The brackets. It is better to be on that side, but still you have to win what you have in front of you and play against the team that the draw gave you. Sporting Lisbon, we all know that they beat Bodo Glimt. It was never going to be easy to be able to come back 5-0. I mean, I know we're going to go into that hopefully later, being 3-0 down to go to 5-0. But yes, for Arsenal is you can concentrate on the Carabao Cup now against a team like Man City, where you keep on fighting against them to try to win the league once again this year. And I don't know what do you think, Jimmy? I was just thinking on the top of my head, how much impact do you think that's going to have on the title race on Sunday?
I just think the gap they've got right now is a real good buffer. I said a few weeks ago I thought this could have a huge impact psychologically, especially for Arsenal, negatively or positively. I don't think it affects City if they lost or not. They're not so desperate for a trophy. They've won so much, and if they lost the cup final, probably we've lost the cup final. I think for Arsenal, there's still probably a lot riding on it. They'll want to just get their hands on a piece of silverware. We're talking about them going for the quadruple here, but until you've got something in your hand, it means nothing. And this is the first opportunity. So the weekend will, I think, play a real sort of, have a big impact, I think, for Arsenal. It'll be a real downer for them if they don't sort of get their hands on it. Because even though we all believe they've got the title virtually, when you're inside it, you never feel like, you always feel like something's going to go wrong. So they'll have that real fear. So, Manchester City can scare them, shall we say, at the weekend. But I think Arsenal will go on to sort of win the Premier League title. But City going out, Arsenal, we expect to get to at least the semi-final as well. So that may cause a problem as well with the Premier League games.
Win trophies and dominate. At the moment, they have a foot in every competition, Kaz, and that's all they can focus on at the moment.
I mean, how many teams in Europe would love to be in the position that Arsenal are in right now? They would. And they'll go into Sporting as favourites as well, I would say, in that game. So in a brilliant position, like Eze said, all four. But what I don't want to be a downer, but I'm like Inter Milan were in that last year at the same point, 4 competitions. So they've got to keep going, got to keep mentally tough and keep pushing.
So what will Mikel Arteta be saying to his team? Something along the lines of what Kaz is saying? Because every interview he does, he refuses to focus on the future and will only look at the game in front of him. And is that the right mentality?
100%. Just stay humble, stay focused. You can achieve great things. And, if you can be successful in this remaining part of the season, what are we now in the last 2 or 3 months? What you do now will be remembered, and we talked about this, forevermore. So they could be a part of something special. And I think it's great, actually, when you're involved in big games every 2 or 3 days, you know how to behave, you know how to prepare, and it just comes with the territory. This is how we live now. So a big game at the weekend is lovely for these players, but you could see the excitement. Eze, particularly, I'm playing in the Champions League. Give me the ball, let me shoot from distance. No nerves, no fear, and look what the result you get. So playing with total freedom tonight was great to see.
A few new faces in this team and this squad in general, but is this Arsenal side learning more from the mistakes of previous seasons where they've gone the distance and fallen away?
Of course, experience matters. You realise why you didn't make it across that final line. You understand the differences at the top level. But I do think this team is different because of the squad. I think you can pull in changes, and every player that comes in, like Ben White, hasn't played in a month and can come in as experienced. He's played Champions League football. He can come in and It's easy. It's a good switch. There's lots of that. Gyökeres can come in and out of the team as well. He's new to the team. Eze, when Ødegaard's out, your club captain's out. They've got players in every single position. And that documentary that they did, and Edu was talking about players in each position. I know he's not here now, but that recruitment, that mentality, it means they can fight on 4 competitions.
When you watched that performance tonight, what did you like about it, Martin?
I thought how professional they were. I thought the way that they fathomed out how to play against a really difficult opponent, where they took, they had like 2 inside forwards that was tucked into midfield. It was difficult for Arsenal to build, but they were patient. They retained the ball much better than they did in the first game. They pressed really high. That was the message. Let's press. Let's see how well they can pass out under pressure.
That must be how you dream of scoring your first Champions League goal.
I don't know if I could dream of scoring a goal like that, to be fair. It was a good goal. I just saw the opportunity to shoot, and thankful to God that's worked today.
It was the half turn, it was the technique, it was the pace, the pace of the ball. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a special goal. For sure, I'm going to remember it for a long time. Hopefully, it's the first of many in the Champions League for me.
I feel like all your mates are going to send you the goal. How many times are you going to watch this one back?
Yeah, I could be watching this one for a long time, to be fair.
To be fair, did it feel like it was going to take something really special? Because up until that point, their keeper had been unbelievable.
Yeah, for sure. It's a difficult team to play against. We saw that when we went there. And we knew that it would take moments like this to sort of put the game in our favour. And we, as a team, we did that today.
Look, we saw you go down. You had a bit of treatment and then you went off. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'll be okay.
Perfect. I don't know if you know quarterfinals. It's Sporting Lisbon. They had an unbelievable comeback. 5-0 they won tonight. So that is your opponent. You had a good time out there, the league phase last season.
Yeah, we know that at this stage it doesn't really matter who you face. It's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. So we'll be preparing for that. But we've got another game on Sunday, so we'll be looking at that first.
Yeah, you certainly do. Are you ready to turn the end of this season into trophies?
This is the aim. This is what we want to do. It's what we've had as our goal from the start. So we're in the final stages of all these competitions. So we'll keep pushing, keep working, and God willing, it comes through.
All right. Well, thanks for the memory of tonight. Unbelievable goal. Well done.